Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Toffee TV. Everton are poised to sign Jack Grealish on a 12-month loan deal. We've been talking about it all summer. There was a lot of naysayers, but the deal looks to have been concluded.
What kind of naysayers were?
Well, lots of people were saying there's zero chance we're getting Jack Grealish.
What are those people?
They were in the comments many times.
I need to find them all, James.
Go back. We need to dig back. Call them all out.
I'll find them all. Find their addresses and we're going to knock on every door.
And say, see. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about this particular deal?
Yeah, I'm intrigued more than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
I'm intrigued by how we'll set up. I'm intrigued by, what his position is going to be and what will be the knock-on effect for other players in this team. Obviously, in a positive way.
Called the squad, mate.
In a positive way. Just what will be the knock-on effect? What will be his number one position centrally, off the left? It's a good sign. It's a really good sign, and I think you can pull it down with his age and the fact that he hasn't been playing for City. Well, if he hadn't been playing for City, we wouldn't be getting him, and maybe of his age, we wouldn't be getting him. So they're just things that Everton have profited many times off the relationship between our proximity to Manchester. I don't think it's ever really done us too much harm. So I think what we'll find is a player who's ready to go to work, who's got a lot of talent that he wants to put out there and show his original sort of self as well. He's dedicated himself to the Manchester City project for the last 4 years, whatever it is, sacrificing many of his own talents to play in the side. So, and he's done that. He's got the trophies for it. And he's got the nights out as well to go with them. So yeah, it's very interesting. Looking forward to it, and let's see how it all unfolds. Yeah,
listen, I haven't watched Everton on Saturday. I don't think anyone can honestly look themselves in the mirror and say Everton don't need creativity. If Njai's not on it like he wasn't on Saturday, there's no creativity. No. Kieran Dewsbury Hall, to be fair, thought he did well Saturday, but there's nothing. And anyone moaning at me for moaning about right wingers who watched the game on Saturday, go and get in the bin, because we didn't have anything on the right. We had a new tactic on Saturday, which was don't have anyone over on the right and just ask Jake O'Brien to do 90-yard runs and create. Albeit it was a pre-season friendly, so it doesn't really matter. But I think what Grealish will bring is someone who can create in that final third, carry the ball. He'll get free kicks. He's fouled quite heavily. And he's bringing that experience, and obviously he's won trophies at Manchester City. He creates chances, and I think you're right. I think a lot of his freestyling, if you like, was beaten out of him a little bit in order to play in Pep's structure. So I think having someone a little bit like a Maverick in our team will at least entertain Evertonians.
But also, let's not forget that Jack Grealish sort of grabbed Villa by the
balls,
by everything, and made sure they came up, and then made sure they stayed up. He was. It's not this like. It's not like a. He's not a player who just plays for himself. He's a player who plays for the team. He just plays it in his own way, and I think he's obviously intelligent, and that's why Manchester City took him there, because they recognised the intelligence to understand patterns of play and his involvement in the game, and it must be really difficult to sacrifice your own abilities for the team when you don't want to do that, when you want to grab hold of the ball and take people on, and he has sacrificed that. So he gets to be himself in many ways, but also have that responsibility and that leadership qualities of a player who's won trophies, who was a big part of the helping them win the treble. You can't forget that. He was a big part of why they won the treble. He was a key component in that team. He probably won't have to play like that anymore. But as I said, it's exciting. He's a very talented footballer, and we don't have very talented footballers. It's similar to when we brought James Rodriguez in my opinion. It's a player. I
think he's a lot fitter.
Well, he's a player. Well, James Rodriguez is a better footballer though, but so it equal each other out. But he's a player that will that wants to play football, that wants to show what he's all about, and I think that's really important. But more importantly than anything else, he's a much better footballer than anyone we've already got.
Of course.
And that's the top and bottom of it. He's raising the standard.
I did have this the other week when people were trying to tell me Njai's better than him.
No, when Njai's not better than him.
Nowhere near.
I like Njai. I really like Njai. He's our best player at the moment.
He's boss.
But Grealish is a better footballer, and he's proved it.
So now, in that team, Njai's going to have someone else who he can bump, and that only makes Njai better. Because it's quite easy when you're playing against Everton to double up on Illiman and Njai. Sometimes you'll get away. I mean, there was one back heel on Saturday which sucked 3 people out. It was brilliant. But just wasn't enough of it. But if he's being able to do his thing, you've got Jack Grealish doing his thing. Everton, a lot of people asking me about Fatahou from Leicester. Well, Everton, it was linked over the week. Everton have got an interest in him. He's a flyer. He had an injury last season, but Everton could get him probably quite modestly, given Leicester's issues. So he'd be someone. But I still think if Everton buy him, he's basically coming in to compete with whoever else we buy.
I like him.
I
think Leicester's season took a nosedive when he got injured.
Well, he's quick. He's really a runner. We don't have runners. So, because the reason I'm bringing him up is Louis Keating on the Super Chat said, what do you think of him? Well, he's very quick, and Everton don't have any pace in the team, so he would be a welcome addition. I do believe if Everton were to pursue him, he would be almost, I wouldn't say a backup, but he wouldn't be the only player Everton bring in on the right-hand side. There's stories today that Everton have moved on from Tyler Dibbling. We'll see whether that stance remains. They're looking elsewhere. Maybe Malik Fofana, who's gone nowhere. No one's bid for him. Everton might try and get him again. Maybe it'll be someone else. Other people mentioned this summer have been Omari Hutchison at Ipswich, but
the market's going to explode in the next couple of weeks.
The money they want for Hutchison, you may as well go and try and convince Fofana, or go and see what the difference is with Dibbling. Then South Coast journalists are reporting it's difference of 2.5 million to 3 million. Well, if that's it, I'd rather than pay Dibbling rather than overpay for Hutchison. But there is others. Dylan Bach was still there at Strasbourg, whether Moyes would want to take a chance on him, I don't know. But just back to Jack Grealish, I think it's listen, you can argue it away, like you said. 29 years of age, hasn't been playing for City regularly enough and all of that, but he's a hugely experienced footballer. He's a brilliant footballer. He's still a big name as well, if you want to do that. There was a lot of people outside of Everton when it was linked saying, he'll go to Everton, haven't got a chance of getting him, he'll go to Newcastle or Tottenham or whatever. Well, it looks like he's coming to Everton, so that'll make people sit up and go, maybe there's more going on there. And we know that perception is massive in football, and therefore convincing him to come is I think it's a sort of feather in the cap for the club. He'll have to do his bit. His videos he's been posting for weeks about him training. He looks ready to go. It's a World Cup year, so he'd be motivated for that. David Moyes has been historically good at these. You can even think back to, like, I'm not saying he's the same level, but someone like Jesse Lingard, who Moyes took to West Ham and who had a great sort of second half of the season, should have gone to West Ham that summer, didn't. Went back to United and he's now playing in Korea or somewhere, isn't he? Where who knows what his career, no pun intended, what it would have done had he gone and stayed at West Ham. But Moyes did this in the past with people like Pienaar and albeit they were younger, got their career going again. And if Jack Grealish comes in for the season, does really well for Everton and goes back to City and gets back in, or someone buys him or whatever, then as long as he does well for us, that's all that matters.
Well, the money that's been quoted for him afterwards suggests that maybe no one will come for him, no matter what. So that it gives Everton a place to start negotiation, I imagine. So no, I just don't. Get, like, I get a certain type of football hipster looks at it and thinks, this is no way to build a team. I understand that. I've seen a few of them, not just one. I've seen a few of them, And I get that, but again, it's football, isn't it? It's like people pay money to be entertained. It's not always about the X and O's on a spreadsheet type thing. It's like people go to the match to be entertained, and this lad is an entertainer, and everyone knows that, and everyone feels like they've got they feel like they can relate to him off the pitch as well in a way, because he just seems like he's still a normal lad. So what for me, I for a loan, okay, listen, I'm sure his wages are going to be substantial, but I don't know, it's a new brush, isn't it?
The club have made the decision.
Yeah, Moyes has made the decision, the club have made the decision. You know, they've missed that. They haven't been able to bring in the targets they want to, and maybe if they had brought in the targets they wanted to, then Jack Grealish wouldn't be happening, maybe. But I always feel like Jack Grealish was always going to happen. I felt destined to be a part, an Everton player all summer.
Jack Grealish has been on the card since May. It's been there all summer, and so I think even if we'd have got who we wanted, Jack Grealish was still coming to Everton this summer.
But as you said, it is the kind of deal that will hopefully make people sit up. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it's going to open doors to attract other people to the football club, but it does commercially. It's a good thing to have someone like Jack Grealish. He's obviously in himself got his own sort of commercial deals, and he can attract people because he's a big name. You know, football off the field. As you said, he's going to be desperate to get back in that England squad. He is still, famously had a deal during the World Cup, the Euros, didn't he? And then obviously never got in the squad. It was a little bit embarrassing in some ways, but he is a big name, and Everton can loan or no or whatever. Everton can build a strategy around him this year as well.
Football's perception. Now, he will convince some players to come. He's not going to convince other players, obviously, because you need more than that. But at least make people think, oh, he's gone there. They must be, wonder what that project's going to do. If it makes a few people sit up and look at Everton slightly differently, wouldn't it be nice to be spoken about in positive terms more from people outside? But forget all that. That'll come. He's a very, very good footballer, and we can't have enough good footballers in our squad. We've got a lot of lads who work hard for us, no doubt about it. Now you're bringing quality. I've seen Obi Wang said, is this another James Rodriguez type deal, or have we got a real star here? Well, James Rodriguez have 14 goal involvements. That's huge for us. We don't have players like that, and he was brilliant.
People do sort of look back at his time in Everton in a weird way. He was absolutely brilliant.
One of the best footballers to play for Everton in the Premier League.
With it being COVID season, it was slightly different, but no, it makes sense. And then he can announce the Pepsi deal as well.
Seen a few people saying they're going to get the away kit with his name on, so there you go. There you go. Get him in. There you go. Even there you good. On the eye, there you good.
Hello now.
But at least, you can have a look at it here, and you can see what David Moyes has been true to his word, trying to get more quality into that side. Thought Dewsbury Hall was excellent at the weekend. Thought he just looked a little bit tired as it went on, but he thought he was busy. He was everywhere. You could see him looking for runners, and we weren't running. So we need a bit more of that. Same with Tierney. I thought Tierney Barry looked the best he's looked. He was still that one in the first half.
Dewsbury Hall looked like he wanted the ball given to him a lot more than it was given to him. So again, that's just like building relationships with players, isn't it? Having the bottle to play into midfield where maybe we haven't done that in the past. So it was his first minutes after being at the club for 3 days. It's going to take a little bit. He's got a full week of training now ahead of him, where we can hopefully work out what way we're going to play. Obviously, disappointments with Michalenko going off, and there was even Jake O'Brien at the end. There was a look maybe he'd pulled something. But let's hope the Michalenko one is. I mean, it was his groin, and you could see it gone straight away. Let's see how that we get on with that. But we need more players, and let's hope Grealish is the first of a really big couple of weeks where we're bringing players in. We can get Grealish be the first, then we can get like another 2 after that. By the time we get to the Brighton game, then obviously we've got good opportunity to actually fill that quota.
Well, the manager said 10. Grealish should be number 6. He wants 2 right wingers. He wants a right back for you, I think.
We need a
Just
right
for
back.
you.
You go getting injured, Baz.
And he wants a centre mid. So if he gets them, there's the 10 that he wants.
Exactly.
And let's be honest, I imagine 3 of those will be buys and 1 will be a loan. So, you know, if Everton do get Fatawu, if they could get him, and then they could get a Dibbling or whoever else it is on that right hand side, then that'd be great. The Norwich kid is the one they're looking at right back. Bennell, is it? Or something like that.
Not the greatest reports about him.
I've heard he's very, very dependable, 6 foot, strong in the tackle, just not amazing going forward.
Is that what we need, though? I know, but is that what we need? I think
That's not me.
For me, I think we need. I've said this. I think we need to.
I don't think there's any out there.
We've got to find one because it's what we need. You know, I think it's massively important. I do think it's. I think it's massively important. Start getting that. You know, or even if we get one that is in the right mould, at least, which is an attack and right back, someone who can get up and down. It might be ready, yeah. Like, you know, on the other side, the other kid's not quite ready. Of course, he's not needs. You know, but I think we've got to look for what we really need, and if Jake's in the team, then the kid, whoever it is, can build within the squad.
Of course, yeah.
Within the squad.
They really like try Hume, don't they? But I think Sunderland want unrealistic money for him.
Yeah.
So, but he's a very good attacking fullback. Maybe that, I don't know. The right back bit would be the sort of least of my worries, really. We need a central midfield player to play with the Drisha. Manu Coney was the best player on the pitch by about 4 years on Saturday. Absolutely dominated that midfield. But we couldn't, I don't think we get a Roma player to come to Everton. But we need someone like that who could come sit next to Idrissa and just dominate the game. Yeah. Right winger, obviously. But there's a lot of deals to do because Chimitti's going to go out on loan. And I don't think the manager's only going to have 2 strikers. So there's a lot of to and froing. Yeah. To be honest, we'll see. It's going to be very, very interesting, though. Very, very interesting. I wonder who they'll let go. Because obviously the manager sort of said this in America, didn't he? There's a couple of players in that squad who he said, what did he say? We want to do other things with, which is David Moyes speak for sell. Yeah.
No, but loans as well, of course.
No, but I think Harrison Armstrong, I know he was injured at the weekend. That's why he wasn't in the squad. But hopefully it's only a slight strain, he's all right, because I think he will be allowed to go on loan. And then Chimity, I think, needs a loan. Because otherwise, we're just stunting any development that is there. We don't even know if he's ever going to be any good. Yeah. But we're certainly never going to find out if he's getting 6 minutes at the end of games. So, therefore, he may well end up with another striker coming in. Unless in an emergency, he goes with Illiman and Jai, who has played through the middle at times. Can play on the right as well, of course. So maybe he'll go with Tuman and Jai as the backup. I don't know. So you look around at like someone like Dwight McNeil who's not getting in, and you think, is someone going to come in for him? Irabunum, I don't know. But if Harrison Armstrong goes out, Irabunum has to stay because he becomes, one of those other midfield players you've got. So it's going to be. It's definitely going to be interesting the way they shape the squad over the next few weeks. Can they get players in? Can they get players out? So it's going to be interesting. Patterson, who knows what'll happen with him? Will he just be the sub? The sub right back, so to speak. I know we saw a little bit of Seamus at the weekend, but he was left back. So it'll be interesting. Asnu looked very raw, didn't he, at left back? And that'll be a worry for the manager, that Michalenko's gone off injured. Hopefully it was a precaution. He felt it and it'll settle down. Because I think Asnu, yes, could be the left back, but I imagine Moyes wouldn't have wanted this scenario until around November time when the lads used to training and Micho's settled and all that. But we'll have to wait and see, because otherwise I don't know what we do at left back.
Patterson, if he's fit.
But he's got a hernia, do you reckon? So therefore you go, is it Seamus? Is it like...
I'll be honest, Leighton Baines.
I mean, Baines was fantastic at the weekend, wasn't he?
Oh my God.
How good was he? He was unbelievable. I'm not being funny.
Crossfield passes.
I'm not being funny. James McCarthy was unbelievable. What a player. He still looked like he should be playing.
I thought James McCarthy was still playing.
He was still about last year.
He played for Celtic.
James McCarthy was amazing. Baines was incredible. Theo Walcott was better than any winger we've got on the right. And on their side, the 8 who played on my side was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He looked like he still should be playing for Roma.
Even the Yak one-on-ones.
Yak was amazing.
His offside goal.
Yak just gave the eyes to the keeper and put it. It was just such a great finish, wasn't it? It was such a great finish. So, you know, I stuck to the fact that we won on aggregate. That was what I took from the weekend. We beat them 2-1 on aggregate. That was what I took. So fair play. Came out happy that we'd won overall. How good was Candler in midfield? I mean, he looked like he walks past the salad bar at the moment, but that one where he killed it on the wing and just juggled it for a bit and then hit a 40.
Never lose it, though, do you?
Tremendous.
You just never lose it, those fellas.
And Reedy coming on was incredible, wasn't it? Felt he got bullied into coming on, but at least he come on.
I'd like to have seen him in his trademark pants, though, that he's been wearing.
No, he couldn't have come on in them. That would have been taking a mickey, just this Trilby, killing it in midfield and just flicking it off with this Trilby.
It was good, that, wasn't it? It gave a good, sort of end point to the day.
Yeah, it was boss. It was boss. Good to see them. Big Jan Mucho making a great save as well. Fair play.
Saves, didn't he?
Fair play.
Michael be buzzing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Michael be buzzing. He's a legend now.
No, it was good.
Doesn't the ass just follow people around?
I'm not being funny. The ass was great on that wing. The ponytail, killing things and flipping it in and getting it
around.
I love him.
Waiting for opportunity.
I think we just get
He's
him
in
back.
America as well, weren't
In America, yeah.
No, the ass was all right.
On the pitch last game of the season.
I love him, mate.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Once Everton's such, yeah.
Once Everton's give you that much money.
Stop it.
Thank God.
Great. It was great. It was just boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only controversial thing for me was the Yak wearing number 9.
I mean, there's a lot of controversy on Saturday, but that
Yak
was the
wearing
only...
number 9.
Yeah, but he was going to wear it.
Yeah, but he should have been wearing his number.
No, I know it was.
And Pienaar should have been, wearing 20, and he should have been wearing 22. Yeah. It's Jimmy Martin, that. I put that on.
Well,
Jimmy
he was
Martin.
on the bench, wasn't
Exactly.
he? Yeah.
Controversial. You know I'm a stickler.
You are.
know I'm a stickler.
I mean, you're more worried about them things than other things.
Oh no, I'm worried about lots of things.
Fair
Just
play.
keeping the chat light.
Fair play.
No,
it was good. It was good to see them, wasn't it? And
are we going into the goods and bads now, or are we going to make that a separate video?
no, I think we need a separate video because we've got John here as well. We need John's perspective on it as well. Because I mean, I've had. This is the nicest possible.
You hated Saturday, didn't you?
I didn't enjoy Saturday. I enjoyed sitting in my seat, and it was great. Everything around it was terrible.
Yeah,
there was no positives for me.
That video worth watching. Angry Baz.
I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. I'm not angry.
Okay, that's worse.
No,
that's worse.
It is what it is. But in the nicest possible way. I'm definitely not Everton fan services, so I can't. The amount of messages I've got, I can't change pricing. That's not my. I can't. Chaos in concourses. I can't. I can try to highlight it. So but definitely not. As far as I'm aware, definitely not a role I've been given by the football club.
Maybe it should be.
Maybe it should be.
You could be You could be the concourse czar.
No, I just want to get in my seat.
I could see you.
I just want to be able to get to the stadium that's 20 minutes away from my house in less than 2 hours 20 minutes.
So was it more transport Saturday for you than anything else?
And chaos in concourse.
Yeah.
I don't understand as well why I sit level with the penalty area on the east stand and I had to go in a south stand gate and walk right the way back round to I'll never understand that. I just want to walk in.
the turnstile situation needs to be looked at.
Yeah, wasn't good.
Basically, if you are going to a certain floor, you should be able to use the turnstile for that floor. No, it doesn't matter. Shouldn't matter.
I just don't get why.
People on the east stand, were locked out basically for half an hour because there was one turnstile. So
it's a test event. I'm sure Everton will put this all right for Brighton. Sure, it'll all be organised really well. The pricing will be dragged right down to normal levels, and the turnstiles will be all accessible, and there'll be organisation.
What do you mean? Every donut shop I go in, they're £6.50. What are you talking about?
For 25.
Because when I go to Tim Hortons and I have to take a mortgage out to buy a box of donuts.
A box?
Because that's how much they are.
A box?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's £78 for a box when I go to Tim Hortons.
There you go. What I couldn't believe was, we're going to save this obviously, but what I couldn't believe was...
Preamble.
What I couldn't believe was when we had the test event and then donuts come out and they look incredible and they were £3.50 and everyone kicked off that they were £3.50. Whoever ran the football, not the football club because it must be Adam, whoever thought then, everyone's kicked off over £3.50. I know what's a good way to solve it. Let's charge £6.50 for it.
Also,
anyway, let's get back.
So we'll save
Emma,
let me know in the comments right now.
We'll save that one.
I know you're watching.
Let's get back to Jack Grealish and footballers and all of that. When you look
Calves.
I'm with
Calf.
Oh, tremendous. See, I'll allow him to have mid-calf because I don't know if there's a sock made that can get over his
Apparently, just mixing the two up.
Go ahead.
You get a free pair of Jack Grealish calves if you're in Club View.
Do you?
Yeah. Over the season, you will develop those
because
calves.
That's how high you have to walk. Was there no escalators in Club View?
No escalators.
Wow. Wow.
So so apparently you get a free pair of I don't know about whether you have to wear your socks at a certain level, but you do get the calves over the season.
Anyway, when you look at that side then, just now with what they've got, where do you think Grealish will play? Because obviously at the weekend we had Patricia Garner, Gay James Garner and Keenan Dewsbury Hall in midfield.
I liked it.
And then Jai was on the left. Dewsbury Hall was basically playing off the striker. He was, but he was doing his that bit, wasn't he, ratting around in that midfield area in front of the other two. And obviously we didn't have anyone on the right. We asked Charlie to go out there, but we know that he likes to come in. So when you're looking at the likes of Jack Grealish and Jai, like how do you, because Everton are looking for a right winger, so where do you think they fit in, and then where does that leave Dewsbury Hall? And
I mean, it was a fluid system Saturday, wasn't it? I think it goes back to what we said last week about probably having a flat three in midfield and then having like three up front.
Yeah.
Then that might mean Jai playing on the right.
Even though they're after two right wingers.
Short term. Also, they've got to get in the team, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
We want the quality to go up, don't we? We want the quality to go up. We don't want Jai to be our best player.
No.
We want someone else to be our best player.
We want to challenge him and see if he can go up again.
Exactly. We want everyone to be challenged. And, I've seen like the Wrexham team when it came out on Saturday, and you straight away like 6 new signings, and you imagine like being a Wrexham fan, let's say, and over the last 3 years watching players just in out, and lads who were in that team 3 years ago are not at the football club, completely gone. It's like you don't want that kind of turnover, but Everton have to start. We've just got used to having the same players. That's why the beginning of pre-season was like there was a frustration. We want our team to have, like, by October, to have, for me, I want, like, 6 new players, 6 new starters by, like, October. I don't want it, like...
That could happen.
Exactly. And the only way that's going to happen is if the quality goes up. We've been so...
starved of quality.
And I also think, like, brainwashed in many ways of, like, what's a good player. So sometimes when we get a good player, it's like, wow, that's unbelievable. We need to be moving up the gears. We need to be moving up the gears, and we need to be bringing better players in, and we need to be pushing players to the bench. And if that means pushing players out of the club, that's just the way it is. Dewsbury Hall straight away, I thought on Saturday, took the levels up. And I think when you see a player like him with all that energy, creating those runs, getting through balls down the middle, going through himself, suddenly you think, wow, there's a little bit more to this team. The one like that, then it goes up
changes
again.
It again.
And next minute, you want to go from a bang average team to a good team. it's players.
Of course it is.
Players and a bit of coaching.
You can squeeze bits out the manager did. You can squeeze more out of stuff. You can tactically be right in Nick games, and you're gonna have to do that anyway. But if you've got quality players who travel with a football and can create and shoot and create things, so people can criticise our strikers, right? I thought Tierno Barry was the best he's played for Everton at the weekend. He wasn't amazing by any stretch.
Stronger.
But I thought he looked much livelier. I thought the one where he went on a run and hit it and the keepers pushed it wide, I thought was decent. He should have scored the other one. It was a great move, geez, but he all put it on a plate for him. And he's just took his eye off it as the final instead of just finishing it. His older play's got to be a little bit tighter. He's a little bit... kills it and then is like looking around. You've got to realise you're going to get it. But I thought he linked it better. But even so, and even when Beto come on, people can criticise that, but you've got to also be creating a lot of chances for these lads, and we're not doing it. So when they get one or two opportunities, people are on the back. So we've got to become a team that creates more opportunities for these lads. Then if they're missing 4 or 5 chances a game, you can go, well, he can't score, he's getting lots of chances. I think we have to do that.
Don't want to go over tactically. I thought we still managed to isolate the striker.
We did
massively.
It's only Tuesday we all got close.
And again, that's something that the players have to be braver with. You know, the players have to get up and support and create scenarios where we're sitting in the opposition's half longer and longer, and when we break, we're breaking with more players. And that comes down to, again, players having the ability to get up and down the pitch, the right back being able to get up and down the pitch, the right wingers, the left wingers all joining in. It's all the components, isn't it? And it's only going to happen by better players. No one should be holding on to players. I don't think anyone is.
I don't think anyone is.
No, but I just don't think anyone should be holding on. You know, I want this player to... Let's get as many good players in as we can. Get them together and...
Battle to get in the team. It should be hard to get in Everton's team. It should be, Liverpool... And again, people will start spitting the dummy out now because I've mentioned them, but they're the league champions. And my point is, they're just buying and buying, aren't they? They don't care that. You know, they didn't care that Luis Diaz was... and I know he wanted to go, so it's slightly different, but they're still looking to improve.
Well, the irony of someone like Liverpool is...
City do the same.
They're not selling their squad players. They're selling... It's the same sort of... You know, they're selling them new... Darwin Núñez of the world, who are like the good stock, and they're going, but the what's on the bench is pretty much the same as what was on the bench before. So they're bringing they're exchanging a better player for a player they can make money on.
Well, City, look at City. City have got bought Savinho. Now he's going off. Now whether you think he's good or not, I mean he'd have been good for us, but I still think he's better on the left. But he's going to go off to Spurs, and City getting Rodrigo from Real Madrid. So you're looking and going, well, he's a really talented Brazilian, Savinho, but they're getting one who's better. So he's out the door. They're trying to and they're a team near the top. Chelsea.
It's the dream, though, and if you've got one Brazilian, get a better one.
Get a better one.
It's always better to have a better Brazilian.
There you go. Chelsea, you can't, they're getting Xavi Simons now today, apparently. So that's Chelsea. They just keep buying and buying and buying and buying.
And good luck to them, I
fair
say.
Play. But what I mean is, they're trying to upgrade all the time. That's what we've got to do, albeit at a lower level. We've got to try and upgrade. And what you're doing when you upgrade is you throw the gauntlet down to the lads you've got and go, can you get up to this level? And if you can't, you move them out. Go and get attached to them. Because that's football. And we're going to have to get used, I think, for us to progress where we all want us to go. We're going to have to get used to having players for maybe 1 or 2 seasons, and they're going anyway. Because we'll be selling them on and then going again to the point where it's then we don't have to sell them. We're the ones doing it, but you're still going to have to rotate players in and out your squad, and that's where we are. Matt Gibson says, agreed, gents, on the dawn of a new era with the imminent arrival of Grealish and looking like the dribbling deal is dead. Do you think Moyes could look at times for moving Jai on the right with Grealish on the left to solve the right wing problem they're clearly incapable of doing in the market?
Yeah, I mean it would does look like that, doesn't it? It does look like that Jai will move over.
Well, he plays there for Senegal. He played there against England and destroyed England, didn't he? So clearly the lad can do it, and he does play on the right for Senegal. Everton are still in the market for two wingers, 2 right wingers. So
at the end of the day,
he could do it.
He could do it because but the necessity's been so important. The need has been there for him to play on the left so much that you didn't have to move him in many, because we knew what we were getting. But if you've got a player who's better than him on the left, then he can go on the right, and suddenly you've got a balance. It's still lacking the direct pace of a proper winger, of someone who can.
Are you enthused that they still want two to come in on the right hand side?
No, we shouldn't be patching our squad up with fillers just because they're good players. That what we'd have two really good left-sided players, like most squads do, who've got to fight. There's an irony in replacing your best player with the best player. There's an irony. That's the most Everton thing you could possibly do. Just get your best player and go, well, we're going to replace him with our next best player. But
Grealish might, for all we know.
No, I'm just saying.
For all we know, the manager, even though I don't think Moyes would do this, but for all we know, Grealish is going to play off the striker. And Jai's going to stay on the left. Dewsbury Hall's going to be alongside the Drissagana Gay. And you're going to have a right winger. I'm slightly concerned with those two in as your two midfield players, simply because both of them like to rat around and leave gaps. And that's why I think we need a defensive midfield player. But at times, that could be how Everton line up at Goodison. How Everton line up at Hill Dickinson, because we're going to be going after teams, which is exactly what we should be doing at home. Unless you're playing, obviously, the top 3 or 4 of a different class, and then you do need to be a bit worried about it a bit more. Away from home, I don't think we could line up like that. I think it'd be too open. And that's why we need and that could be James Garner, but I think he's looking at another defensive midfielder as well. But that's what the squad's got to be. I've said for ages, your starting 11 should be a challenge, because you're not sure how he's going to line up. That's how we want it to be. You don't want to sit there every week and go, James, just get the graphic we used last week and the week before and the week before and the week before, because that's all you can play. And in an ideal world, the lads on the bench are never getting a game, because you want to be going, he could do this week, or he could do that, or I'd like to see this, and it's not dropping the quality of the team. I just think you just get as many good players as you possibly can, and then deal with the rest of it. Grandpa Flum says, brilliant news. Winger next, please. Steve Riley says, brilliant news. Had so much creativity. Get a few more in now, like Dibbling and some squad depth, and it'll be a boss window. Posh Matty says, and Jai, Dewsbury Hall and Grealish, get your passports, boys. We're going to Europe next season. Kyriakos says, hello from sunny Cyprus. Loved the great news about Grealish. Now get a right winger. Gary Ward, good news to start my day. Everton Vikings says, nice bit of news to start the week. Still think the finances on the loan are so costly, and to justify you have to try and achieve Europe or Conference League for me. But hey, make sure the rest of the signings match that aim, and we may have a chance. P.S. Bring me Fatawu. Blue Jay says, afternoon lads, delighted with Grealish. I went on Saturday and felt that we lacked the quality in the final third massively. We couldn't finish our dinner, in all honesty. Grealish brings bags of quality to the team and is exactly what we need. Now sign a right winger and sort that side of the field out. A front 4 of Grealish, Dewsbury Hall and Jai behind Beto or Barry is much better looking lineup for Leeds. TCLID 88 says, what a signing this is. Proper Everton player. Love the way he plays, buys fouls, brilliant signing. Stephen Warner says, great news. MW76 says, Big Dan is in the movie business. Now we need a name in the leading role. Okay. Mark Mack says, get your calves out for the lads. Yes, Jackie boy, all is forgiven for the beer taps breaking in the South Stand on Saturday. Ross says, fantastic signing for the Blues. Interesting to see McAtee's going to Forest for 20 million. Puts the Dibbling fee into perspective. Greg Ball says, would like to give the staff behind the scenes at the club a massive shout out. I walked the ball onto the pitch for the Legends match, and the staff behind the scenes that look after you are phenomenal. Some brilliant people working at this club. What an experience walking out onto the pitch with Zed cars playing. Good, Greg, glad you enjoyed it. Ian says, go and break the bank and get Fofana. I'm sure Moyes can convince him to come. Jimmy K says, game-changing deal. This is the most optimistic I've been about a season in ages. Danny says, we get Dibbling now on the right, and I'd have to say we'd have a devastating midfield. Ethan says, apparently we've walked away. We'll see. We'll see, won't we? That might be a little bit of a play. It's negotiation. I think John would tell you that. Convince the opposition you've walked away and see whether that makes them move or not. Don't know. And the owners, as John's. Just get your mic on anyway, John. Because
let me just do. There's a super chat. Daily Freckles says, just wanted to thank you boys for all the content this summer. Plus, do you think Grealish signing may attract a higher level of player now? Well, it will if we're playing better. And also, I want to say, get well soon to Mikey Cass, one of the Cass family.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. Well, his second name's Cass, so he must be a part of a Cass family.
He's part of a Cass
who's couldn't go on Saturday.
Oh,
so
get well soon.
His
mate.
missus looks after my missus in the gym. So
get well soon, then, mate.
Yeah. Well, same second name.
Part of
the family somewhere.
There must be some link up somewhere.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, of course.
John's, yeah, sorted. John, just on the Grealish thing, obviously money, people will go on about money. We don't know the ins and outs of it. There's rumours of 8.5 million up to 12 million. Anything in between, I guess. From sort of like a PSR perspective, do you think this deal makes sense, or do you think it's a risk for Everton?
I think it makes sense, to be honest. I mean, what we have to remember, of course, that the total cost of a player for us is the amortisation of the transfer fee plus their wages.
Yeah.
If we're paying a fee to City, which whatever it is, 8 million would be equivalent to what? Maybe that's less than 200 grand a week, isn't it? Right. So if you look at Dewsbury Hall, how long does he sign a contract for? 5 years? 5. So that's 100 grand a week amortisation alone. If we're saying he's getting paid 100 grand a week, then him and Grealish are costing us the same. Except we've got him for 5 years. If he turns out to be a turkey, we've still got him for 5 years.
Yeah.
If Grealish turns out to be a turkey, we throw him back at his current club, don't we, at the end of the season? So I think people get fixated, don't they, about very highly paid footballers at the end of the day. And yet, if you're inside the football club, you're looking at what the total cost is of that player to you. And I'm sure we've paid some agents or other for the Dewsbury Hall thing as well. So we could start talking about other players who cost us 100 grand a week in amortisation, like Dwight McNeil, for example, and think, hang on a minute, you could almost convince yourself if Grealish turns it on and we see the Villa Grealish, then it was an absolute bargain.
Oh, God, yeah.
So I'm sure the numbers stack up. If we're taking Grealish instead of a lesser player probably, who would have cost us an amortisation, a transfer fee.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a less of a cash challenge as well, because there's no upfront, is there? You're just paying his wages, effectively.
No, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think we were saying the other day when we spoke about it, might have been on Business with Blaine, actually, but we were saying, Jack Grealish might make Everton a more attractive. Well, I think it does. We won't know until. But might make Everton more of an attractive proposition for the TV companies to go, Grealish, which is exciting. Everton might be play better football. Let's put them on live a few more times, therefore bringing in extra money, $1 million. I think it's 1.2 million.
Yeah.
I think someone said it was every time. Say it's $1 million for argument's sake. If Everton end up on live 8 more times this season because of Jack Grealish, it's almost paid for himself. Almost. I know there's.
Oh, absolutely. And when we spoke to Angus, a couple of months back, he made that point.
You as the shareholder.
I beg your pardon, shareholders. Myself and Julie, the chair, went to see Angus. He made that point that we were on TV below par a number of times last season. Yeah. Particularly in the first half, can't think why.
No, I can't.
The new stadium will attract more games, of course, because they want to see it.
Of course, yeah.
But now we might have a player where they think, well, when we play City at home, perhaps because of Grealish, it might be on telly anyway, but it would be on. Same with Villa, those sorts of things. And we often talk on BWB how perception's quicker to change than reality. And it might even help get players over the line as well. If players will go to a club because of the manager, they'll certainly go because of who their teammates might be. And if
because it looks more attractive.
Absolutely, because
you can't play against City. We have to
no, I know, I get that. But when a player is thinking, I'm not sure, should I go, should I not? And it almost shortens their decision-making process. They don't have to consider everything because they almost say, well, if it's okay for the guy who's won everything, and he's not. It's not like he's 32 and it's it's his pension money or whatever. He's still probably in the back end of prime, isn't he? Right? Then they'll go, well, why not? Particularly getting loans over the line, I guess, if people are a bit unsure. Well, so let's see.
Again, Ped, just with what John's saying there as well. If you can never sort of, these are like the intangibles, I guess, sometimes. But if you're a player who Everton are trying to schmooze into coming, and you see Jack Grealish has come in as well, because the first thing you must do as a player is look at who else you're going to be playing with. You're looking at a squad and going, well, who've they got? What's the reality of where we might finish? Yeah. But Jack Grealish, I'm not saying it's the big, just because you've got him, I'm definitely signing. But you would look and go, well, he's gone there and he's been at City, and that'll make them better. So it might help, might it?
I also think, like, this seems to have been on all summer. So Jack Grealish it feels like, has been up for coming to Everton all summer. It was just a case of flashing it out and getting it done. So we've been persuaded by David Moyes, and the location situation all fits, doesn't it, for him?
Of course, yeah.
And of course,
he's got a young child, hasn't he?
If we look at it from a point of view of like people, this deal, signing a player like this and a couple more, could get us into a position where we're challenging to get a European place. And isn't that what we're looking at? Isn't that the whole point of buying players or loaning players? We've been used to loaning players almost as like squad fillers, or because we have no other options. So I think this is you're right. It's people will look at Everton and look at the situation and go, well, we're looking at a live game this week. Everton are in decent form. The stadium looks fantastic. Jack Grealish is doing well. Let's put them on TV. That'll be entertaining, because isn't that surely the point of why people put you on TV, other than you have loads of fans with Sky remotes, is to entertain people, to give you that. Of course. And Everton last season, we were on towards the end of the season because people wanted to see history unfold. And it might be the same this season. People put us on because they want to see history unfold, and they want to see how it unfolds. Spurs, I don't know what the numbers are. I'm sure someone's got the numbers of how many times Spurs were on TV before they went to the new stadium, and how many times they've been since. Yeah. Because people love it. Because what I tell you, the other thing about it as well, and this is a genuine thing, isn't it? It looks good for the Premier League.
Of course it does.
Do you know when you switch on, let's say you switch on a spot like NFL, you switch it on, you look at the stadiums. The stadiums are all, loads of them are brand new. They look amazing. Glass and metal, and it all looks amazing, doesn't it? Class. But the Premier League want the world to turn on and go, this is our product, and our product means that we have stadiums like this new stadium.
And stories and all
You've got, Liverpool redeveloping their stadium, Arsenal there's a pressure on an Arsenal now to bring their stadium, even though it's 20 years old, to make it look better. There's a pressure on, we already know there's a pressure on Manchester United. The Etihad's getting work done right now to make it look better, to improve it. It all looks good. It's eye candy, isn't it? It attracts you. It's all part of it. You switch on the Championship, you're watching the Championship. You look at the grounds. The Premier League want a situation where but you switch on Bournemouth. I'm sure the Premier League are not too happy with when Bournemouth are playing at home, and the camera angles and the way the ground is. They don't want the Premier League to be perceived like that. They want the Premier League to be perceived like maybe like the NFL,
big
where
brash,
it all looks unbelievable and it's all modern. And Everton having a ground like that, people can dismiss all that kind of thing. But for the Premier League, that's part of the brand. It all looks nice, new, shiny. All those sponsorship boards look immaculate, so you can see them on your HD, 4K TV, and it all looks. That's why they have the spider cam. That's why they have the cam that comes down with the penalty shootout. So it's like you're playing it on FIFA.
Yeah.
That's all part of the brand now, and that's what. When they're picking the TV, I imagine some of them are looking at going, yeah, we'll put them on, because I don't really want to go on to Burnley's ground.
And it's all building, of course as well, to Euro 28 as well. Portraying the stadium, what it's going to be like for the Euros and all that. So the stadium is incredible when you're in there. It's fantastic. So I think it'll really help. And I think, Grealish is a fantastic player, and people are interested. Look at our live. 3,000 people watching at times. All this because he's big news, whether people go on or not. Make sure you like and subscribe while you're here. Takes a second, much appreciated. Having a look here, Jez says Toffee TV headbands incoming for Jack Grealish. Maybe we all just start on the headbands. Paul Davis says feels like when we signed James, can't wait to see him at Hill Dickinson Stadium, going to be amazing. Benjamin says, what a start to the week. Leeds should be shaking in their boots. Don't know about that, but we'll see. Jake says here this should be a massive signing for Everton and get Fatawu in for some blistering pace, then move on to a right back and a centre mid. Ethan says, I'm not entirely sure it's 12 million loan fee, then wages. No, I'm not even sure it's 12 million, Ethan. But if it was 12 million, that is wages and a bit of a fee. Liam says, walking into Bramley Moore, Hill Dickinson Stadium, for the first time is breathtaking. I got an instant feeling we deserve to go on to bigger and better things now. Grealish is an incredible signing. We'll notice the difference in quality from day one. Correct.
12 million, Baz, is probably all his wages without bonuses.
Yeah.
So that seems unlikely to me.
Yeah, because Everton have been arguing with that since day one.
You know, and 8 million's 2/3 of that.
That makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
We'll see. Josh says, Saturday was my first time in the new ground. What a spectacular, beautiful stadium she is as well. The match was rubbish, but they always are. The Legends game was thoroughly enjoyable. Baines could still be playing for us even now. The guy's still class, and brilliant news on Grealish today. So all in all, very positive for this season.
Just seen a comment there saying you're mad if you think the Emirates needs modernising. Well, go and tell that to Arsenal, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're modernising it. Yeah.
That's been 20 years now.
They're ripping parts of it out to modernise it. Yeah, look, massive. They're doing all the TVs in there. They're doing.
Well, that's what they do, don't they?
They're doing lounges in there. They're redoing seats in there. They're doing all kinds in there. Because the point being is, when they show it, they want it to look amazing.
If you're feeling the love for Grealish, here's a stat for you from EFC Stato. He's never scored or assisted against Everton, but the team he scored had most goal involvements against is from across the park, as was. So he likes playing against the RF. So
let's do it. There you go. Everyone will be loving him.
That's how you become a very popular player, isn't it?
Straight away.
Score against them. Yeah.
Conrad says, great signing. Rest of the signings coming soon, I hope. Martin says, this is a great signing. Proven quality. Liking that we're walking away from Dibbling. Fair play to Southampton for holding out for a top price, but nobody is paying £50 million with a sell-on. You'd never get Levy at Spurs paying that. Gary says, good signing, that's creativity. Socks rolled down the 11, Baz. I know, fuming. Although Dewsbury Hall did have his socks up at times of the weekend, and I appreciated that. I appreciate
Maybe
that.
He watched.
He watched and went, I won't go in too early with the socks mid-calf. Steve P says, Baz, do you see us being linked to Fracalino at Midland? I did. He'd be really good, play on the right as well as a centre-forward, fast as well, really good dribbler. Yeah, saw that. He was at Benfica, wasn't he? He'd be an interesting one, and obviously low down payment, can do two jobs through the middle and out wide. 21, isn't he? I think you said there, yeah. So, Everton Viking says, yeah, we were properly awful on the right against Roma. We were like a boxer with one broken hand. We had nothing else. Mark says, what would you do about the left on Monday if Miko's out? Not sure the young lad's ready. Coleman not ready fitness-wise. Do we throw the kid in at the deep end or play McNeil or Brandtwaite there? Don't know, Mark. Honestly. Does Arsenal play there in that environment away day one?
I think.
Does Dwight play there?
Well, depending on if he's fit. Nathan Patterson might play there.
I can't see him being fit. Moyes is still quoting a hernia, but you never know. It's 8 to week.
He said he's got hernia type symptoms.
Cal says, hello lads, hope you're good. Jack Grealish will be class for us, I think. Also, does anyone know what's going on with the hydraulic tower? No. Barry says, no doubt, nobody doubts Grealish's ability, but anyone doubting his character should watch the way he ensured the blind girl was not ignored during the presentation. Yeah, he's tremendous as a human being. Stephen says, surely we'll play him in the 10. Quite possibly. Jake says, I hope the club irons out a lot of issues in the stadium before Brighton. The concourse needs barriers for queuing. I'm sick of the lack of availability and communication. Stand in a queue for 20 minutes to be told there's no alcohol available.
Very, very.
Not even Pepsi. Then you go back to your seat for another 2 hours and stare at Pepsi advertisements. Bappy says, afternoon lads, Saturday was an experience of mixed emotions. I was surprised at how smooth it was at Sandhill Station. The ground itself felt weird, just being in a different place watching the Blues. My highlight was watching Baines and Reid on the pitch. The price of lager was fair priced. Well, not a lot of people weren't happy.
£3.40 in the South Stand of Stella.
Was it?
It was,
Where I was, it was £6.
No, that was like, everyone was like going, I got that right. People are like buying 3 pints and just running away really quickly, obviously after they paid.
Well, Liverpool's £3.30 in their stand.
But it was like, it said on the board, £7 for a pint of Stella, and when people bought a pint, it was £3.40. It didn't make any sense. So everyone was
Someone's got that wrong, but fair play. Where am I? I used a self-service Amazon-style shop, which was a great idea, but have been charged 4 times, even though we only used it twice.
I've been told, a couple of people have messaged me saying that it's like £20, like I don't know, if it doesn't recognise what you've bought, and it's charged people £20. So a lot of people are like, I bought a bottle of water.
Test event.
Yeah, it's not quite test. It's testing your bank account though, isn't it?
Sure, everyone will get that money back.
But it's important that it's important though that everyone says what
their experience was.
I've seen over the weekend, stop moaning. No one's moaning. What they're doing is they're telling the club what the problems were, so we can have the mind out for when the real stuff starts. There's no point. It is a test event. It's a test event for us as well, isn't it? And it's testing all the systems. So if we don't feed back what those issues were, how are they ever going to get sorted? So it's really important. It's not moaning at all. This thing of like, what are you moaning for? Well, number one, season tickets was £700 plus, mate. That's why it wasn't free, was it?
Surely no one's saying what are you moaning for. Can't be anyone.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
No, there can't be a single Evertonian on the earth.
Honestly, there is.
Jake says, I have a 6'5" centre-back on the right wing isn't a tactic. Sign a pacey right winger and a right-back who can attack and defend. Let's be having, he says, great news, now can we get a right winger in before Monday? Got a week to do it. David says, any feedback on Saturday for the stadium? Contact the fans forum. They gave an extra email address. What is it?
If you go on the Twitter and stuff, there's fans forum. It's all there. I think they're speaking to them on Wednesday. So it's just really important that people do feed back in their experiences. Like, I know that loads of people weren't happy with the toilets on the plaza. There wasn't enough toilets.
Oh yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff.
I was going to say the toilets on the concourse, there was millions of them. I went in, there was about 4 people in it. I couldn't believe it.
There's also lots of reports of men using women's toilets.
Was there?
Yeah, which again.
Why though, when the men's were empty?
The men's are weird though. There's loads of space, but hardly any urinals.
The other thing as well is the signage for the men's.
Yeah, it's really
looks
bad.
like some of them look like dresses, which was fed back. No, it was.
No, I know.
Because there's a split in it.
Agree,
I don't understand why they're like that. Why aren't they just a normal?
I agree. Just put men in big, massive writing.
Just put it so you know.
Yeah. There's loads of reports of that as well. So,
that's not good.
So it's about feeding back, isn't it? It's about the club going, yeah, Sam, we can. That's not a hard fix. Someone told me, this is genuine, because I know the fella, and he owns a pub, but he asked for a lager, and the person behind the counter
I got the same.
Didn't know what lager
Didn't know what it was.
So he asked for a beer, and by the way, the person behind the thing wasn't a foreign person who didn't understand, before anyone throws that in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until he said Budweiser that the person understood what he needed. So there's a lot better training that needs to go on. And as John said before, it's like, or someone said, sorry, the signage of like, if one particular place has run out of something, put it on the boards.
I've got it.
No, we've got loads, honestly.
They're like queued up. We had the same thing. So I queued up at Dockyard, I think it was, because I would have liked something else, but when you went through that turnstile, it was chaotic.
It was chaotic.
It was literally just like, get away from this. It was pathetic how it was. But I walked over and queued up to that Dockyard thing. So it was hot. I didn't even want a hot dog or the thingy, but I wasn't going and queuing it, walking, carrying on down. I was queued up for 20 minutes to get to the thing. So they've got big images on the thing of like hot dogs and Korean chicken, I think it was.
Yeah.
So I got to the front and said, "Can I have some Korean chicken?"
Yeah.
He went, "We don't serve it here. It's at the next one, go and queue there."
Place.
The both, no, it was the same thing. There was just another one next with queues back to the wall. I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I asked for a hot dog, they'd run out.
Yeah.
So
And all this.
and it's all electronic. So you need to either go, "We only sell at this one, hot dogs, and we only sell chicken at that one," or if it's run out, sold out, whatever.
Well, I asked on Friday.
So that's all stuff they can
why
get
we
better.
didn't have a on the level 2. Why we didn't have the burger place, the pickle and whatever. And I was like, well, there isn't one up there, but you can get burgers. So it's like, so there's
Well, that's just all things they can.
there's all this thing
They've got to get right.
They need to iron out all these things. It is massively important so, and because what I found was because the queues were bad, then people started going down earlier for the first half. So that meant more and more people were going down. More and more people were like blocking people from watching the game. And I felt like all the time there was just people on the move all the time. And obviously these things will iron themselves out. We'll all settle down, of course.
Yeah.
But that's why it is really important to feed all this information.
The other thing as well.
And another thing.
Where did we get a Mars bar from?
I don't know where
There isn't anything.
Wasn't there one in the shop?
There was nothing.
£20 Mars bars?
I went to the shop. There was £6.50 donuts, but they were gone. There was nothing in the shop. So there you go. Anyway.
SpongeBob on the Super Chat says, welcome back from your trip, boys. Please, with KDH and Grealish, think it will propel the image of the club for higher quality players coming in. He only improves the team. Love your channel, chap. Speak soon. Speak anytime you want, SpongeBob, with them Super Chats.
Kev Maloney says, if Doak is 25 million and Dibbling is 50, I'd take Doak. Paul Nealon says, hello lads, tuning in from Kusadasi, wondering how you'd rate our business out of 10. Nice. If we could get a right winger instead of Dibbling, who would you take? Fofana. Go and if Fofana doesn't want to come, and I get it. You've got to go. I'd go Bachwell's still there before Forrest get him. Someone like that who's a runner, who's a right winger, go and get him. I know Hutchison, some people like him. I don't know. I think 20 million, 35 plus. I'm not sure on.
Are you disappointed that Everton haven't gone after McAtee? If it is only 20 million, like I said, or around 20 million?
No, because he's not a right winger. If you're going to get him and play him off the striker, maybe, then yeah.
But just as a player, because we spoke about him quite a bit, saying that like we wouldn't mind.
He's a nice footballer, yeah. I just think if we got him and put him on the right, though, we wouldn't. He's not quick, is he? He's a lovely footballer. He's another good footballer.
Yeah.
But don't know. How would you rate it then for Paul? How would you rate it out of 10 so far, the window? Got 6 players in before the season's kicked off.
6.3.
7. Let's leave it at that. Father Aiden says, think the Grealish signing is a smart move, provided he gets himself back into shape. I think he is in shape. He's a better player than Harrison and Lindstrom and makes us a better side. Correct. Steve P says, if someone said Everton was signing Grealish this time last year, you'd think they were absolutely mad. Let's be honest about it. No matter your feelings on him, he's going to be our best player by some distance. In the same way you could see Dewsbury Hall was instantly our best player on Saturday. We haven't had this since Silver's first summer. It's actually been the opposite, where quality has got worse and worse.
If we lost money, then we lost talent.
Don't know, Peter, how much it is, to be honest. Jay Ratcliffe says, magic news with Grealish. I'm relieved the players are now coming in. Look like Dewsbury Hall played well on Saturday. Bill says, brilliant signing potentially. My only concern is how left-sided we are. We need that right winger in. Heard mention of Fatwa from Leicester. He has the pace. Everton Viking says, really hope we don't go for Hutchinson. He's Nathan Telemark too. As for Njai and Grealish, think it won't be Njai versus Grealish. It'll be Njai and Grealish, and that benefits us. Michael Barnes says, not been this excited since James Rodriguez. Now please get that right winger in. Jake says, how much do you think Page on the right hand side unlocks? Do you mean pace? Unlocks the likes of Grealish and Jai? Well, it'd make it very difficult to mark, won't it? At the moment, before Grealish, the tactic is just mark Illiman and Jai.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
everyone else you can battle with because it's just the basic workhorses. Now you've got Njai, who attracts 2 men, Grealish, who attracts 2 or 3. If you then add some pace to unlock on the right, then it's really difficult. It becomes a team that you've really got to worry about when they're in transition, because you don't know who to pick up. And then you've obviously got the striker, so it changes the whole thing. You get that pace on the right. Yeah, it could change Everton, really. Mike Raff says, wow, another left winger, just what we needed. Charlie H says, watching delay, but Baz, what you said about no one on the right. Alcaraz done this late last season when coming off the bench. He just sit in the middle and refused to entertain going out there. Surprised Moyes still opted for it, knowing it's slim pickings, but annoying from Alcaraz. Yeah, but I actually thought Alcaraz did well on Saturday. I thought he was trying to get involved as much as he could. He broke a lot of stuff up. But he's better through the middle as well, isn't he? He naturally drifts inside. Steve Guy says, amongst the great news today on Grealish and overall enjoyable first visit to Hill Dickinson on Saturday, I have to tell you, I was well peed off to see Ped's blog and the escalators in the South Stand. I've paid for a season ticket in the premium seat on the 3rd level and gobsmacked when I walked through gate 20 and was presented with a flight of stairs and nothing else. My wife has recently had a hip replacement and I've had a knee replacement, so what must have been 8 flights of steps after a 30-minute walk was not great. I've written to the club to see if we're going to be able to use alternate gates that either have escalators or lifts. Can't believe premium prices seating doesn't have either of the latter.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people criticising that area.
Derek says, very excited to have Jack. Wanted McAtee too, but I'll take Jack all day long. Brian, Jack Grealish should raise the profile of the club. I suggest it shall lead to an increase in the number of live games, shirts and souvenir sales, thereby covering his cost. He raises the level of the squad as Alan Ball did. Interesting. John says perhaps sell McNeil and Beto. Moyes doesn't seem keen on either. I don't know whether he'd sell Beto. Not sure he'd sell McNeil, but I don't think he'd sell Beto unless he was bringing 2 more strikers in, and that I can't see that happening. But David Earl says Chimiti seems to offer less than Patterson. Sell both. Don't know. Nathan says, do you think walking away from Dibbling is a negotiating tactic?
Yes.
Okay.
I do personally.
All right. Grealish is elite, says Dan. This is very exciting. Connor says, can Grealish play false 9? And Jai right wing, Barry left forward, left wing. No. Robert Jones says, afternoon gents, great signing, currently listening on a train which in turn on a ferry between Sicily and South Italy. Lovely. Nice. Have a great time. Connor, no, I think we want to play a striker through the middle, don't we? Mark Mack says, I have a theory. Nias has never left Everton.
Maybe.
Could be real. Mendoza says, I'm chuffed with the potential Grealish signing, as well as his talent and ability. His pedigree as a winner cannot be downplayed. The same can be said for Dewsbury Hall. Having winners in our dressing room will do wonders for the mentality of the squad. However, if September rolls along and we have no genuine right winger and a right back, the window can only be viewed as an abject failure. Interesting. Say, again, a right back maybe, but it's the right winger for me. I certainly won't be stamping my feet if we don't get a right back, given there's 3 and James Garner who can all play there. But a right winger, then yeah, be absolutely crazy if we didn't get a right winger, to be honest. Hey, Ted says, how possible to get Jack for cheaper at the end of the season? If we does well, could we negotiate the buy clause? Because there is rumours the buy clause is 50 million. Is anybody paying 50 million for 30-year-old Jack Grealish with a year left on a contract?
50
no one.
Million for him. So.
Not at all. Not at all. Listen, it's a brilliant, brilliant signing, isn't it? Now, he's got to go and do it. Everton have got to confirm the signing, but by all accounts, you know, looks like he's going to be an Everton player. Everton are still heavily in the market for another 4 or 5 players. And that might mean a few going out as well. You just never know. But in more important news, we're 8 away from 102.4k.
I thought you'd done donut news then.
No. So therefore, we've got donut news, which will be going on the feedback video or the stadium video that we're going to do in a minute. So we're on for another 4 minutes. I expect 8 of you of the near 3,000 who are watching to just hit the subscribe button while we're here.
Also,
Takes a second.
if you're a Premier member, well, more importantly, if you're not a Premier member,
I mean, that's crazy if you're not. But
we've just dropped the documentary, last season's documentary. James has worked diligently
yes, it's brilliant.
over the break,
Brilliant.
his break while we were away, to get it sorted. So if you're a Premier member, make sure you watch it. But if you're not a Premier member, you're not going to be able to watch it unless you're a Premier member.
Well, not yet.
Not ever.
That's a lie. I don't do lying.
No,
I don't do lying.
Not how you sell stuff.
It's not. I don't do lying though. I don't do lying.
This is why the stadium was in a mess.
I don't do lying. That's all.
Yeah, so you're not going to be able to watch it. So
Views of Peter
gonna have to,
McPartland
no.
TV.
John agrees with me.
John
he knows
doesn't
the
agree with
sales
you.
pitch. He knows the sale pitch. You're not going to be able to watch
You
it
are
unless
in it
you
heavily.
go and
In it
join
more than I am.
Premier. So go and join
Don't know
Premier
why, but you are.
right now.
I
expect to see the numbers of Premier grow just because you want to see this documentary. That James,
But you get ad-free videos, which is the
James
thing that you
just
probably
worked
should have been
night
selling.
and day
A bit more fun.
on this video.
Yeah.
And this is a lad who has to take his rubbish to the bins down the street because he doesn't have his own bin yet. So,
yeah.
Talk quick today.
Yeah, under an hour. Was it less than an hour talking?
Less than 5 minutes.
Wow.
Everton
Must have been empty.
Vikings says, yeah, as someone who's in club view, good God, those stairs are a killer. Saw a lot of older people having to take breaks walking up.
Is it level 3?
it's not and you know what? That was not. Well, I don't know whether that was advertised like that, but I just think that's poor. My personal opinion.
Jay says the end of an era season documentary was top draw, by the way. The content gets better. Well, that's on James, so there you go.
So,
Fair enough.
yeah.
Like last couple, Benjamin says it was great seeing Reedy come on for the younger generation, at least.
Speakers outside, she said. Oh my God, that's even worse. So everyone outside could hear it. Fucking hell, that's not a good way to say hello to your neighbours, is it?
Yeah. Rob says you think we'll sign Grealish permanently if he has a great season. Don't know.
Try, won't we?
Don't know. Everton Viking says, wasn't it mad that Baines, Pienaar and Barry all had much better technique than our first choices in the team? Jay said, done that one, haven't I? Sorry. Keithy says, has it been confirmed yet? Grealish, well, by all accounts, he's having a medical today. And that's come from, I know it come from Romano first, but lots of Sky and everyone all running with it, so.
Yeah.
It's never done until it's done, is it? But by all accounts. Danny says, boys, I think this is a great sign and we have to sign a right winger now. Dibbling for me, and we'd have a midfield as good as anyone else's in the Prem. I truly believe this. I think we can honestly say this is another creative option going forward. Brian says, employ the Yak as striker coach now. Everton Viking, I've done that one, haven't I? Richard says, I was well annoyed on Saturday with the organisation on the plaza and in the South Stand concourse. I couldn't hack being down there at half time to the point where I didn't even go to the toilet. Risky for a man in his mid-50s. Also, when I went down between the two games for some food, they'd run out. My mates in the East Stand and said they ran out of booze there. It was great to be there, but too many things were a total shambles.
Yeah, felt like that.
P.S. Well chuffed with Grealish. Hopefully get the boy genius version. Bill says games are won by 16 players these days, not just 11. Correct. Terry Maddox smiling on a sunbed in Cyprus says, great news, now sort the right hand side out. Ethan says, I understand his wages are a lot, but if you add up, it's the same as Harrison and Lindstrom combined. And I'd rather Grealish than those two. Richard says, without those changes at half time on Saturday, we wouldn't lose. Scary to think we're relying on a 37-year-old player to run the midfield. I mean, he's just turned 36, but fair play. In fact, he isn't 36 till September. Dewsbury always a breath of fresh air. No, he was. Brilliant. Spirits of the Blues won the half one at Air. Good omen.
Good.
Says John. John was on it, I think, as well, Mr. Blake.
You might be right.
Ethan says, what is Fato like? Very, very quick. Tink says, for years we've been fed tripe dressed up as steak. Moyes is addressing this and putting steak on the menu again. The Grealish signing reminds me of the Kanchelskis signing and fills me with excitement I haven't had in years. Dewsbury Hall is as good as Gibbs White at half the price. I detest tripe and I love steak. Fair play. Keithy M says, what'll happen with Dwight O'Neill? I mean, his name's McNeil.
Dwight O'Neill.
Can't see him getting many games. Myers says, afternoon fellas, thought it was interesting Moyes started Barry on Saturday. Who do you think will start against Leeds? Come on, Peg, quickly.
Say that again.
Barry or Beto against Leeds. Who do you think Moyes will go with? Okay. Ian says, if he gets us into Europe, money well spent. Up the effing Toffs, says Gaswatch is a blue. Paul says, apparently Stubbs had the word with great. Yeah, we knew that months ago, didn't we? That he'd said it. He just said that on TalkSport, didn't he?
Didn't he?
8 and 8 as well, yeah. Bill says, if they want new stadiums, why did they hammer us on PSR? Because they did. Because they needed to try and make an example of us to try to head off a independent regulator. Gary says, bringing better players wins games, raises the club's profile, bringing more good players, raises the club profile further. Do you see a pattern emerging? Correct. Charlie Freak, great signing. Need a right winger, centre mid and 2 full-backs and we'll be flying. Steve says, Baz, I said to you about Fatwa the other day, we should go after him. Hope it's true. He was unplayable when I watched him the other day. He is quick. Final ball's not great, Steve, let's be honest. Kev says, love that Jack is coming to Everton, and if not just for the reason he's an amazingly talented footballer. He's a really nice kid and kind-hearted fella, in particular when he was collecting his Champions League medal, the little blind girl standing there with UEFA officials. Most of the players ignored her. Jack, however, stopped, shook her hand, took a little time to talk to her. Yeah, always remember this, as my daughter is blind too, and I've always liked him as a man as well as a footballer. I've seen loads of videos like that where he's been with people and he's been incredible with them. So yeah. Ethan says, I'd like us to go after Doak, watch them play for Liverpool, he look quality. Jake says, people were apparently getting told to sit down in the lower south by fans.
Well, it's a standing area.
It's a standing area, so those ones in there will be getting moved on, I think. The ones who sit down and moan about it won't be allowed to stay, I don't think, because it was put out as a standing area. So Jake says, a mention for Gareth Barry, please, lads. They just had it. David E. also stadium at evertonsfansforum.com is the email. Thank you, David. Michael Kearney says, I was confused by gender toilet signs too. It was and then said, it was a cute moment. I ordered 3 drinks and the girl served me if I had any allergies. Interesting. Richard said, was speaking to a City fan on the way from Hill Dickinson Stadium and he said he would be gutted to see Grealish go. On the stadium, I thought the prices were pretty good, although we were in a queue for food before kick-off and the food was running out. £11 for a hot dog. Fair play. Where you have to stand to eat it. Go and get an NA dog, Les says Grey Lead. Max says the club view was not very good. I'm paraphrasing. Apart from the view, I queued up for 35 minutes at half time to get told we have no water. Didn't get back to my seat till the 63rd minute. And why did I have to go up 10 flights of stairs to get to my seat? It thought these were posh seats. Thank God my season ticket isn't in there. Stan says, all right, lads, made up with my seats. Absolutely perfect. Lower south. Prices are effing ridiculous. I can see day trippers not asked by prices, but being bent over every other week isn't for me. Hopefully they'll see sense, but I doubt it. Also, Grealish, great signing. Pricing needs calling out massively, says Jake. Not paying £12.50 for a standard burger and chips. Most people don't want a full meal at the match. They want something easy like a burger or a sausage roll. I didn't spend a penny in the ground due to availability and pricing. Went down the road and got fish and chips afterwards. Phil says, did anyone have trouble with the tap and go? I've had £20 debited, got a bottle of water and a pie, but no credit back. David says, feedback about the escalators. Second test, visited the North Stand, 3 big flights of stairs. Young Mooney says, afternoon chaps, despite all the hiccups, hope the stadium met your expectations. Watching it on the TV, it was amazing. In there, sat down, it was incredible. John Wood says, thought the prices were too high for food and drink. I'll be taking my money elsewhere and not giving it to the club at those prices. I can get the same for significantly cheaper. And Liam says, I wouldn't mind an injection of more older, experienced players. I have no problem. It suits you. I do. 30 years old isn't as what it used to be in football terms. Fine. No problem at all. You've got to have a mix. I personally wouldn't go for Suchek, but each to their own. Because I don't think there's anywhere where it fits him in our team.
No.
That's all. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, who took it over the fort. You're all tremendous. Brady says £12.50 for cheeseburger and chips, and the cheese was cold. James says we need a Greggs in the ground. Crouchy says, if we sign for Farner, I want to see Baz backflip off the dock. I don't know whether I've got the facilities.
Big fences up.
The fences have gone up.
Like everything else, the fences have gone up.
They have. They have.
Aidan Miller says, now all we need is Richard Allison.
Richard Allison. By the way, how good were the Roma fans?
Yeah, they were good.
They were boss, weren't they?
Fair play to them.
Construction Van Life on a super chat. Doesn't say anything, but just gives us a super chat. Thank you very much.
On the Construction Van Life?
He is. And he hasn't got time. He's constructing vans for his life. So I'm all day with that. Yeah. So well done. Well done. But thank you very much for that, mate. There you go. Right, we're going. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you want to become a Premier member, it's there. The link. It's all there. Ad free and everything. It's there. Go and join. Put it this way. It's far less. You can get 3 months for the price of a hot dog in Everton.
That's our new slogan. That's our new slogan.
And you can get
2 months for a donut.
2 months for a donut.
Oh my God. Everton, you're really helping us sell out.
There you go.
Honestly, 2 months for a donut.
There you go. It's all good. Right.
If you sign up for a year, maybe we'll send you a donut.
Pedal send you it.
No, I mean, if I bump into you in the street and we're outside of Greg's, I'll buy you a donut.
Buy 4 for a quid.
I'll buy you a
You're sorted. You're sorted. Thank you very much, everyone who's joined us. Just to finish off, I'm really pleased with the Grealish. I think he's an excellent footballer. I think he'll certainly step it up. He'll have you on the edge of your seat. So, I think it'll be good.
Let's do donut t-shirts.
And on we go with it. We need more. I'm sure we'll get more. So take it easy. Listen, we're going to be doing a stadium, thoughts on the stadium vid. That'll be out later. Check that out as well. Take it easy. And if you're a Premier member, we'll see you all later, of course. Take care. Bye.